Joining us now are former White House chiefs of staff, Reince Priebus and Mark Meadows, along with former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is with us. Mark Meadows, we begin with you. You were in the room. You were there, as Reince Priebus was, with conversations with President Xi. What is the difference between what you're reading and seeing now and what it was like when Donald Trump was president?
Well, it's a position of weakness. You mentioned it in your monologue, Sean, but really there's two words that define this presidency right now. One is weakness. The other is desperation. They're desperate to do anything to take the focus off of Joe Biden's inept policies that continue to haunt the American people. Listen, whether it's China, and you've been one of the few that have been consistently talking about the debacle in Afghanistan that cost 13 American service members their lives. But candidly, it's that weakness that goes all the way through. Joe Biden has a knock on wood kind of strategy and hope for the best, and it is not giving Americans the best.
Reince, you were there when, I think you were there when President Trump actually had President Xi at the White House. Am I wrong on that?
Well, actually, I can answer this. I was at the meeting in Mar-a-Lago when President Xi came to Mar-a-Lago, and we were having dinner. I sat across the table from President Xi, and I was sitting next to President Trump. And there were one thing remarkable about this dinner, that there were two topics that President Xi went on 30 minutes straight without stopping on. Number one was the history of China and Japan, and number two was Taiwan. And President Xi went on and on and on about the strategic importance of Taiwan, making it clear they didn't want us messing with Taiwan. President Trump, after dinner, said, "Excuse me, I have an emergency. I'll be right back," left the dinner table, went down to a private room, authorized the launch of 59 cruise missiles into Syria, came back, sat down and said, "Oh, we just launched 59 cruise missiles into Syria. How's the creme brulee?" That's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
I've actually heard that story, so I know that for a fact that that's true. That's been confirmed by a lot of people. Governor Huckabee, I mean, these are simple but yet deeply profound principles. It's called peace, but only peace through strength, not weakness. To me, if you look at all the hostile regimes around the world, they sense weakness and they're all taking advantage of it.
We've all seen this movie before. It's called Back to the Future. Joe Biden is George McFly, and Biff is getting the best of him every time. And it's just really something that we need to recognize is a real danger, not just to the U.S., but it's a danger to the whole free world, because these dictators and totalitarians really see an opportunity. They see an opening. They've watched what happens with Biden. They know that he's compromised in terms of how many business deals that his son and probably he has had with China. And China's just running with it. And it really should be a major concern to members of Congress. For one, I'm glad Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan. I'm glad somebody is saying to China, we'll do what we doggone well want to. We don't take orders from you. And I wish Biden had stood with her. And just for the record, you're not going to hear me very often say these kind of nice things about Nancy Pelosi. But on this week,
but she really
I'm glad
no
she did what she did.
Governor, she didn't have a choice. Once they threatened to shoot her plane out of the sky, in my view, she didn't have a choice.
She didn't.
I don't think, Mark Meadows, I don't see any scenario under which what China's saying or calling reunification with Taiwan doesn't take place. And frankly, I don't see a solution to getting Brittany Griner home. That's an American citizen that does not belong in jail for 9 years, and offering this master of death in exchange. You couldn't have a more one-sided deal in favor of Putin, and Putin's still rejecting it.
Well, he's still rejecting it. But again, it goes back to the theme. It's the weakness that you didn't see under Donald Trump, and you're seeing each and every day. And you're right. Listen, when they smell weakness, what happens, it makes leaders like Xi and Putin a lot more aggressive. And we continue to see it. You know, a 9-year sentence for Ms. Griner, it's sad. We want her to come home. But now we're trading her for a prisoner that actually was convicted of conspiracy, who killed American citizens. You know, it sets a very bad precedent. I can tell you, Donald Trump, when he was in the White House, was able to get more hostages released and back home without having to kind of pay the price. Why? Because the leaders knew he was strong and he was willing to back it up.
You know, let's stay on that theme, Reince Priebus, because this is the difference here. Remember, the Taliban didn't kill an American for the last 18 months of Trump's presidency. We didn't see North Korea, all Donald Trump ever gave Kim Jong-un was a little bit of time. That's it. And we got a lot of concessions from North Korea as a result. You didn't see these hostilities from Russia or China. So what's the difference here? Is it that they see weakness and they're going to take advantage of it?
Well, Albert Einstein had a famous quote that weakness of attitude is weakness of character. And so when you start on day one destroying your border, making your country not energy independent again, when you allow countries, that you quoted the second half of Reagan's quote, the peace through strength, and weakness invites aggression. And it's true. And so it started on day one. It continued to Afghanistan, through the economy, to gas, to fuel, energy independence, and now he's desperate on this Brittany Griner issue. And by the way, the other piece of this, the fact that Joe Biden was upstaged by his own speaker, and the speaker didn't listen to Joe Biden, yet again within his own party. Now they're walking away from him on 2024. It's weakness all the way from day one, and now his own party's abandoning him.
Do you see any scenario, Mike Huckabee, under which Joe Biden would shock us all and stand up to Russia or China? Because I do not.
No, I don't see it. We're not seeing it. He's been in office now for going on 2 years, and he certainly hasn't given that kind of impression. And if he's going to do it, there never has been a better time than this week, and he's failed to do it. And why? I don't know. And John Kirby can defend him all he wants to, but to say that Joe Biden was so busy he didn't have opportunity or time to pick up the phone and to say something to Xi is just, it's absurd. It is utterly absurd. What was he doing? Ordering ice cream for takeout? I mean, what's more important than trying to keep China from invading and taking over Taiwan right now?
Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Very smart, scary scenarios unfolding. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.